Fani Kayode battles Shehu Sani over Sunday Igboho. CFFK's reply hours after Shehu Sani said, Sunday Igboho should be invited to help drive away Boko Haram in Sambisa forest. In recent times, the self-acclaimed Yoruba activist, Sunday Adeniyi Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has made a major headline especially since the clash he had with the Fulani herdsmen in Oyo State. Igboho's popularity has drawn the attention of many people in the country, including a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Shehu Sani, who said, Sunday Igboho should be invited to help flush out the dreaded Boko Haram terrorists in Sambisa forest. Igboho became more popular than anyone could ever be expected after he gave the Fulani people living in Oyo State a 7-day ultimatum to vacate the state or face the impending doom. However, it could be recalled that Sunday Igboho's supporters reportedly stormed Ibarapa community where they allegedly razed several properties belonging to the Seriki Fulani. In another report, after his visit to Ogun State hours ago, and was welcome at Oja Odan residence in Yewa North local government area of the state, it was reported that he allegedly razed another Fulani community in Igwa area of Yewa North, Ogun State. Owing to his popularity, Sunday Igboho is now seen as a savior of the Southwest, as many Westerners labeled him to be a hero. In his response to the call to invite Igboho to help fight Boko Haram, Fani Kayode, a former Minister of Aviation, and a lawyer has pointed out that Igboho is far too busy cleansing and delivering the forest of the Southwest from suspected killer Fulani herdsmen. He went further to suggest that Sani should send Miyetti Allah, MACABAN, and all the Fulani herdsmen to Sambisa forest to help fight and flush out Boko Haram terrorists in the forest. See people's reactions below after the tweet went viral on social media. Do you think Sunday Igboho has what it takes to fight against insurgency in the country? Let us hear from you.
It's good you mentioned Fulani herdsmen. While I understand your concerns on the basis of faith and issues of equity, justice, and security with regard to the people of Southern Kaduna, I'm a bit ambivalent about your support for a gentleman called Sunday Adeyemo, also known as Sunday Igboho, who constituted himself into a one-man force against persons that are called Fulani herdsmen in the Southwest. Well, we talk about Fulani herdsmen. Then nobody talks about Igbo Yahoo boys or Igbo armed robbers. Nobody talks about Edo armed robbers or Edo prostitutes. It's only the herdsmen that we label Fulani herdsmen, well, part of the Nigerian problem. But you wrote an essay, Sunday Igboho and the threat of war. Even Facebook pulled down that article, but still, you insisted Sunday Igboho is a man of the moment. And for a man like you, he's an officer in the temple of justice. I find it odd that you will support a resort to self-help rather than supporting the institutions of state to address whatever crisis may have emerged in Ibarapa local governments in Oyo State, or, as was the case, in Ondo State.
Okay, let me start by the Facebook aspect. Well, we all know that Facebook is very sensitive and completely the way they're behaving is quite unacceptable. After the post was up for I believe it was 1 day, we had over 1 million people had read that post, and luckily for me, it wasn't taken down on Twitter, it wasn't taken down anywhere else, and it's on my website and was widely published in virtually every major website blog in this country. So millions of people have read that essay, regardless of whatever it is that Facebook has done. But the point is this: first of all, where the state has failed to carry out what it's meant to do, that is to protect the people from terrorists, from kidnappers, from bandits, and where women and children are being slaughtered, and where, for example, in this particular case, a young man who had made a lot of money abroad came back after working for many years and invested his money in that area, and his area was attacked by these same people. And he went to them and said, look at what you have done. And they butchered him in cold blood. And where this happens on a daily basis, which was the case in that area, where the security agencies were not interested in helping, I don't blame the governor. He has little control over the security agencies. I blame the federal government once again. Nobody cared. And this has been going on for years. The people of Ibarapa had been slaughtered, kidnapped, and tortured by these same people. And everybody knew that it was coming from this particular group, this particular gentleman and his team and the people that work under him. And Igboho did not commit any crime by going there to tell him that, listen, produce these individuals that did this. There was no crime in that. And the gentleman acknowledged, according to Igboho, that yes, his boys did it, and that he had warned him, he had warned them. And even Igboho was almost attacked on that day. He disarmed the people that sought to attack. He went with a handful of people. They were surrounded, and he left in peace. And he told them that, look, either you give up these people or you leave the area within 7 days because I will be back. The reason he did that was to save lives, to ensure that nobody was hurt, including the Fulanis in the area, because he knew about the rage of the people of that area, and he gave them notice. Now, I am not a believer in quick notices for Fulani people, Yoruba people, or Igbo people, or any other people, because anybody has the right to reside in any part of this country, and I've always opposed that. However, I am a believer of giving quick notice to criminals, murderers, ritualists, savages, and terrorists who butcher people in cold blood for no reason at all other than pecuniary gain. I'm a believer in that, especially where the state has failed to protect the people. So I see him as a hero. He went back there, and the people had left the area, and he was hailed as a hero by the local people for ridding the place of not Fulanis, because there are still Fulanis in that area, and I'm happy to say that, but of the group of criminals that have been terrorizing the local people and that have been killing people. And I think that is commendable, and it is courageous, and he risked his life and everything. If we had more people like that, not just in the Southwest, but all over the country, that were prepared to say, listen, enough is enough. The state is not doing its job, but we're not going to sit here until they kill every single one of us. Please, you terrorists, leave our area. If we had more people like that, this would be a much better country. He did not give notice to the Fulanis. I wouldn't support that they should leave. He gave notice to the terrorists. Now, you mentioned that Fulani herdsmen, why do we call them Fulani herdsmen? You said that Igbo, people may say Igbos are all 419, whatever it is. I can't remember how you cut it. And I take the point that why should we use the word Fulani herdsmen when we're talking about these people? Why don't we just call them herdsmen, or just call them criminals, or call them terrorists? The reason why it needs to be done is this, because they have never denied that label themselves. They themselves are very proud of the fact that Miyetti Allah is their umbrella organization. They call themselves Fulani herdsmen, and the overwhelming majority of them commit these crimes. Those that don't commit these crimes have a duty to the nation, have a duty to the rest of us, have a duty to the victims to now turn in and expose those that do. But that never happens. You never get them condemning the killing. You never get them criticizing it. You never get them giving up those that do the killing. They never do anything. They simply say, well, it's happened, it's happened. Now, we're talking about Igboho now. We're talking about the perpetrators of these crimes, this Sarakin Fulani and all the rest of them. We're talking about all this. We're talking about terms, labels like Fulani herdsmen. What about the victims? What about the victims? Nobody talks about the victims. I posted a picture of the hack body of the gentleman that was butchered by them, that sparked this whole thing up. Very few people are talking about the victims. It's only in Nigeria that this happens. And I'm saying that it's about time somebody spoke up for the voiceless, somebody spoke up for the defenseless, and somebody puts the government on notice that, listen, if you don't do your job, then the people themselves will rise up and do it. We don't want trouble. Nobody wants trouble, and nobody wants to disturb the peace. That's the last thing we want. And certainly we don't want any ethnic conflict. And like I said, nobody in their right mind would say all Fulani should leave. But if, for example, my brother, a Yoruba militia or a Yoruba pig farming militia was operating in the north, Yoruba pig farmers, and went there and slaughtered half the people in any particular community and did it for 5 years running, and the state and the federal government, which was under Yoruba control, did nothing about it, and just watched them, didn't disarm them, didn't send the military against, and they effectively constituted themselves into a terrorist group occupying all the forests of the Northwest. I can assure you that all the traditional rulers of the North, all the leaders of the North, all the people of the North would have got up to say, enough of this, these people must leave. Rightly so. One more point I'll make concerning Sunday. There is not one traditional ruler in Oyo State, in Ibarapa, or in the Southwest that has spoken against what he has done. Not one. They've said he should not take the law into his own hands, which he has not done. Nobody has been killed as far as I'm aware, and God forbid anybody should be killed, and neither should we incite or encourage that kind of violence. But what he has done is sensitize the public and the people and shown that Yoruba people have courage to stand up for themselves when we're pushed to the wall. We need more of that. We need more Igbohos, and that's why I stand by him.